Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for Thursday Night Thunder. Part 1 brought to you by, I believe this one, here Shaggy had the points up. This one is Amity Construction Excavation Corporation. Contact them for all your excavating needs. Shaggy had a little brain error because I was looking at the points and I wasn't sure if, you know, they're factored in here yet with drop weeks, but boy, it's close between Anthony Morano and Trevor Giroux. They have over 100 points between them and P3. There's a 14-point gap between those two. Man, I was a little, my jaw dropped when I saw that. Normally don't see those kind of gaps. But those two with running, you know, almost about as perfect as you can here. And looking to keep it up is we're at Bristol Motor Speedway, even though Shaggy just realized that says Volusia. I was going through some other things. Didn't change it since last night, apparently, and kind of magically see that change here right in front of our eyes. Make sure the other grid one's right, but man, this should be a good night. Guys running the bottom here early on. I think it'll move on up, especially when we get into the big blocks here later on in the next match. A lot more power. They can muscle around that outside. But right now, a lot of guys running that bottom one. Let's go see. Is Isaac Salas out on the track? He is in that 5. Let's watch him dig around a little bit. Is he blinking? Not blinking a little bit early on. Still running the Epilepsy Foundation scheme. Brian Dickens in the 122. Dirt track bank car. Man from Scotland Neck, North Carolina. Hopefully I get to talk to Dickens here tonight, and maybe I'll get to talk to him tomorrow as well, if he does well in Friday Night Lights. There's Logan Wentz here in the 118, my fellow PA man, the guy out of Scranton. If you ever watch The Office, that's based. Showing the 118 looking good right now. Nice and smooth around that outside. That's how you want it if you're the 118 of Logan Wentz. And probably, trying to wear that in here. Trying to get that top groove set. Let's see here. Who else? Let's hop over to a different room. We got Dino out there right now. Watch that 79 roll around. I believe that's Anthony Morano in front of him in the 32, and it is, I believe, Well, just like that, you see the checkered flag flying, warm-ups are over, and we're going to get ready for qualifying here in the small blocks at Bristol Motor Speedway. Covered it in clay this Thursday night, so it should be a good one if you're out there watching. Let us know who you're rooting for here this evening. Who do you think's going to get the pole? Watch these guys roll around. We have here, we got Dino still. Let's go up to the tower here. Watch Dino as he crosses the start-finish line, getting ready to start lap number 1. Dino entering right in that slick, but doing a good job of not kicking it sideways. His lap times are going to start to come in. Scott Rayome was quick time. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in the 075 takes quick time for now. But Brian Dickens in the 122, he took that real quick from Trevor Giroux by 0.2 of a second. Randall Dixon, the first guy to get in the ballpark. And here comes the 5 slide job, Isaac Salas. He clears him by a 10th, and Slide Job takes over the pole as Sam Bachman comes across the line. He moves on up to P3, the 007. He'll probably be happy with that as we see Kelly Wheeler in the 110 roll through 3 and 4. Where's Kelly going to bring it home? Let's see, can he improve? Kelly Wheeler going to stay right where he was, P14. Eddie Brissett comes home 13th. And with that, all drivers have put in laps here, so we're just hanging out here getting ready for heat race number 1. Isaac Salas on the pole, Brian Dickens, your second place qualifier, Sam Bachman 3rd, Randall Dixon 4th, and Trevor Giroux rounds out the top 5. As we take a look at the starting grid for heat race number 1 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And starting on the pole, we have the 79 of Dino, Dean Reynolds, into his outside in the 56, Randy Shreves. Randall Dixon to the inside of row number 2 in the 011, into his outside, your pole winner, the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. Inside of row number 3 in that 015, we've got Eddie Brissett. Into his outside in the 513, or in the 015, excuse me, I don't know why I said 13. And then into his outside in the 513, that's probably why I said 13, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Rounding out the field there in that 171, you see our man Jake Henry. As we roll around, Randall Dixon, showing each other some love here. As the Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. I got no idea what's going on there, but man, they were misbehaving here. As you see, our overlay is kind of messing up a little bit. Let's see what reset for us is. Well, you got it working for you, not working for Shaggy here. Gonna have to fix it on my end. Is Randall Dixon here. He got the black flag. I'm not too sure what was going on there, what the deal was. I mean, that was pretty much chaos there on the start. As Dean Reynolds now the man out front, Isaac Salas chasing in behind him. Is Shaggy here still trying to get my overlay working here properly, but they're side by side for the lead. Isaac Salas looking to the top shelf. Dean Reynolds gets a little sideways as they go down the backstretch with 5 laps to go. Advantage 5 upstairs, but Dino's not going away. Oh, side by side at the line. Give it to Isaac Salas as we're halfway. Isaac moves on up to the lead, but here comes the 56 of Randy Shreves. He's turning this into a 3-car battle as he's trying to find a way around the 79. But Dino able to get up in that 5-car tire tracks. Seems a little more comfortable now, not having anybody battling him here. And, maybe able to put his head down and hold on. Long way to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Or not a long way to go, excuse me. It's 2 laps to go. Man, this overlay here, luckily you guys don't see what I see, but it's a bunch of doubles. It's hard to follow. So I actually saw 12 laps to go and then saw it was, of course, a heat race, so that couldn't be. It was doubled up as we roll through 3 and 4, white flag in the air. Final time final time around for the 5 of Isaac Salas. We're watching the battle for second as Dino makes a little mistake coming out of 2, but Randy Shreve's going to tuck it upstairs. Going to stay in line as the checkered flag flies. Isaac Salas brings home heat race number 1, followed by Dean Reynolds, Randy Shreves, Jeff Barker, Eddie Brissett, Randall Dixon, and Jake Henry. My apologies here. You're going to see that iRacing stuff pop up. I have to see if I can. There we go. Now it fixed for me. Let's take a look here at the starting grid for heat race number 2. Starting on the pole in the 444 is Scott Rayome. Into his outside in the 639, Dylan Kinsey. Trevor Giroux lines up on the inside of row number 2. Into his outside in the 4, Brian Dickens. Row number 3 to the inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Into his outside in the 118, Logan Wentz. Rounding out the field in the number 2, we have Harold Klump. So we pace around here. Let's bring that back up. And everything looks good here so far. Brian Dickens fan out there. I see Butch Baker out here tonight. What's going on, Butch? As we watch the pace car pull off, that green flag's high. It's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay at Bristol Motor Speedway. Heat race number 2 underway. 639 of Dylan Kinsey trying to make a stamp there on the outside. As we ride on board with Scott Rayome, Trevor Giroux to the inside here. That was possibly the dumbest camera the TV static could have gave us. We didn't get to see what Trevor did on the inside. So let's go back to a little bit of manual control here as that battle turning back on for the lead here. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, finding himself on the inside. Just can't mount a charge coming off. Battling for P3 behind him. That's the 122 of Brian Dickens. And the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Dickens to the outside, Kinsey to the inside. Dylan not going away here. Can't really get a good run off the corner. Going to get the elbows out, float up a little bit. They make a little contact. No harm, no foul. 5 laps to go. Harold Klump feeling the pressure from Logan Wentz in the 118 as he goes on by downstairs. And Harold Klump not able to move on up. And basically everyone running in line except Dylan Kinsey started second. He's dropped 2 spots. And 2 guys in front of him are the guys who have passed him as Dylan Kinsey gets tight, rides up the hill, and Scott Rayome comes out of 3 and 4 this time, and we've got 3 laps to go. Ooh, Trevor looking downstairs. What kind of run can he get off of 2? The answer's none as we throw it into 3 and 4. Gonna look up high this time, see if he can mount a charge in that 75. 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. He is all over the back of Scott Rayome. One mistake, one little hiccup from that 444, and that 075 can slide on by. But he's running out of time here. 1 more trip around. He may have to force that mistake as we drive it into 1 and 2. The 75 goes high. He hits the bump. He tightens up. Brian Dickens to the inside. As we go through 3 and 4 for the final time, the 75 tries to cross over. Scott Rayome takes heat race number 2, followed by Brian Dickens, Trevor Giroux, Dylan Kinsey, Logan Wentz, Kelly Wheeler, and Harold Klump is, man, heat race number 2. That was a close one. One mistake there at the end from the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, cost him P2. And, man, he's going to want to do that one all over again. As we get ready for the starting grid in heat race number 3, starting on the pole in the 9, my man Brian Lawson into his outside, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Inside of row number 2 in the 213, Michael Vitale into his outside in the 007, that's James Bond, Sammy Bachman. Inside of row number 3 in the 397, you see the logo. We call him the Canadian Alex Pomerleau. And to his outside in the 25 machine, Gary Sigelkow. Rounding out the field in that 247, we've got Michael Vecchio as we roll through 3 and 4. The Steve King Foundation pace car should pull off. We'll be set to bring you to the green flag here. As you see, the green flag is high. She's ready to fly. Your 3rd and final heat race in the 358s is underway. Let's go play. Brian Lawson trying to find room on the bottom down there, and he gets a good run off. I did not think it was going to work for that 9. He may have just figured something out in 1 and 2 as they're 3 wide behind him. But here comes the Ant-Man. Man, sprinkles a little bit of that dust there, and boy, he flies by on the outside. The Magic Ant-Man. His teammate gets a little tight. We saw Sam Bachman hit that bump. That opens the door for the 213 as Michael Vitale tries to find his way back into 3rd place. But Sam Bachman says, no thanks, man. I'm going to take that over for now. 6 more laps to go as the Canadian dives under the 213. We're seeing guys mess up in the center of 1 and 2. Hit that bump, and boy, man, they got to do all they can to keep it from going up in that wall. And so we're seeing guys make mistakes, give up passes. As Brian Lawson, he doesn't want to find himself in that boat. Got to pitch it sideways here. He got it sideways enough. We're 3 wide. Sam Bachman cracks that throttle. He lets the 2 dogs go at it as Brian Lawson downstairs makes a run for the lead here. Give it to the 9 at the start-finish line. We're halfway. Brian Lawson able to get around the Ant-Man. He gets tight in 1 and 2, and he goes from first to fourth. The Ant-Man, oh man, he's got to pick up the pieces here, and he's running out of time. Only 3 laps to go, and the 2:13 is down below him. Check the mirrors, Anthony. He gets tight again. There goes the 2:13. Can Michael Vitale secure the pass? He does as we roll through 3 and 4. 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. Brian Lawson leading the way here, was able to fight back after giving up the lead. And all of a sudden, got another battle on our hands here. The 007 going to dive it in low into 3 and 4, but can't find a drive off. White flag in the air, and man, has he now become prey here to the Canadian. Final time through 1 and 2. Alex Pomerleau can't find the run. We roll into 3 and 4 for the final time in heat race number 3. Checkered flag flies. Brian Lawson's going to start third in tonight's feature, followed by Sam Bachman, Alex Pomerleau, Michael Vitale, Anthony Morano, Gary Sigelkow, and Michael Vecchio. As we're going to take a real quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your first of 2 features here after this quick word. Stick around. We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV. We're about set to bring you to tonight's first feature presented by Amity Construction Excavating Contractors. Shout out to them for picking up the sponsorship here this season. Couldn't put on these broadcasts without the help of all of our wonderful sponsors. Really appreciate you coming on board here. The Ant-Man right now top of the chart. Sam Bachman, P2. Isaac Salas. Nowhere in... Or wait, there is the Philly Flyer. P4. I couldn't find him there on the time charts. P4. He'll be happy with that. Going to be shaking a little bit, seeing how quick that 32 is. I mean, that's who he's battling in points. He's focused on that 32 car, so... Trevor going to need to be perfect with the Ant-Man being as quick as he is. Now, Anthony, you know, he did have that trouble in his heat race. Going to have to start towards the back. But if anybody can move up through the field, it's that magic Ant-Man. And let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting grid here for your first feature on Thursday Night Thunder. Starting on the pole, Isaac slide job Salas in that 5 machine into his outside in the 444. Scott Ram. Brian Lawson to the inside of row number 2. Into his outside, Dean Reynolds. Brian Dickens to the inside of row number 3. Into his outside, James Bond, Sammy Bachman. Randy Shreves to the inside of row number 4. Into his outside, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. The Canadian lines up on the inside of row number 5, and his dance partner on the high side, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Dylan Kinsey lines up on the inside of row number 6, and to his outside in the 213, Michael Vitale. Eddie Brissett lines up in that Baker's Dozen spot, and to his outside in that 118, Logan Wentz. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, lines up on the inside of row number 8, and to his outside, Jake Henry. Kelly Wheeler lines up to the inside of row number 9. Into his outside, Gary Sigelkow. Inside of row number 10 in the 011, Randall Dixon. Into his outside, the 2 of Harold Plum. Rounding out the field this evening in the 247, we have Michael Vecchio as 21 cars. Let us know who you got now as Shaggy's going to make his pick, and when you see Isaac on the front row, I'm telling you right now, type it in that chat box, join the 5 fan club. He is really hard to beat when he starts out front, so got to put your money on the 5 here, slide job Isaac Salas, but long way to go, not going to be an easy race, 30 laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and anything can happen when you're out here playing in the clay. As we roll through 3 and 4, the Steve King Foundation pace car will pull off. That green flag high. She's ready to fly. 30 laps to play in the clay at Bristol Motor Speedway. The 5 brings us to racing action. Searches down there for grip right away on the entry of 1 and 2. Gets a good drive off, and he's trying to bring his teammate in the 9 along with him. Can Brian Lawson make it a Venom 1-2? Or can that 444 Scott Rayom stick an FTM car up in there? And that's exactly what he's going to do. Good run on the outside for the 444. Sam Bachman trying to make it work downstairs, but he's going to let his teammate around in the 79, who's following that 122. They're 3 wide back there. Contact between the 639, Anthony Morano, and Dylan Kinsey then involved. Logan Wentz pounced for the second time. No matter where the 118 goes, he just keeps getting beat on. That's twice this lap. Tough break for him is, man, these boys are all dancing here early at Bristol Motor Speedway. Shaggy's going to be quiet for a lap or 2. Watch him race here, 3 wide. Wow! Oh, boy, hang on. That was Alex Pomerleau in that purple car dancing down there on the bottom, man. Oh, my gosh. 3 wide at Bristol. Plenty of room to play in the 350 modified. Man, and the boys came to show off their stuff here tonight. As Dino making it work here on the bottom. Michael Vitale trying to do a little crossover here. Can he make it work? He's going to send it into 1 and 2. Slide up in front of that 79. Dino says, I want to stay up here, brother. Go ahead. They make contact. The 213 runs him into the outside wall. Dino then gets hit by his teammate in the 639. And, oh, man, Dino, he is going to be seeing red after that one. Oh, boy. Scott Rayom here losing touch with your leader out front, Isaac Salas. But battle heating up for second. That 122, that dirt track bank machine, trying to get to the middle step of the podium, but I think you want to be in that middle top lane as he may lose third now. He pushes up the track. Brian Lawson with nowhere to go. He doesn't lift. He hooks the 122, and man, oh man, that's going to bring out a caution, and that's sometimes I try not to be that blunt about it. I really do try to let you get your own interpretation, but we saw what happened there, and I do understand that Lawson's frustrated. I totally get it. Guy pushes up. He doesn't mean to, though. We've seen it happen multiple times. I mean, he cracks out of the throttle trying not to hit you. You're staying in the gas and, while looping around just because you don't want to lose another spot. And I get it's frustrating. But Brian, he don't race like that. And, he didn't didn't really deserve that in the 122. And I mean, now we're going to ruin a couple other race cars as well. So, you know, one guy can get impatient, and man, I mean, you see what happens, and it happens fast. And Lawson, at the end of the day, able to hold on to that spot. I thought maybe he'd lose it. Not sure how much damage that 9 has, but man, able to hold on. That is a little shocking. I definitely did not think he'd be able to hold on to that. He was. Let's see here. So we got the 1 to green. We'll get a view of this pace car. Nope. Still not 1 to green. Light's still on, so more Shaggy here. Still going to roll around, but man, tough break for that 122 of Brian Dickens. He had a lot of pace. And, you know, arguably kind of was even battling there to hold on to third just because, you know, caught out when he tried to make a move for second. Got hung up on the bottom and couldn't find a drive off. You never want to see a guy lose it that way. Man, that is a tough pill to swallow for that 122 as the lights are off. And Isaac Salas will look to bring us to the green flag. Now, something interesting here. The inside of row number 1, 2, and 3, they all race for the same team. So I'm sure those guys are, you know, going to work together here in Discord. Try to make sure they absolutely ace this start here as we watch them roll down that backstretch. And now we're going to sit here at the flag stand. You see that green flag. It's high, and it's ready to fly. The 5 of Isaac Salas drops the hammer, and we're back underway at Bristol Motor Speedway. Isaac trying to check right back out to that lead, but that 444, he ain't going to let him. He gets a run on the bottom of 1 and 2. Are they going to touch? Isaac leaves him enough room. Scott's going to float up, but man, enough room, no contact made, and Scott able to fall back in line. It was looking good there for the 444, and he knows he may not get many more chances in that 444, so you got to throw it in there, and you got to try while you got the chances. Alex Pomerleau, they're 3 wide behind him in the middle of the corner as they thin out. But boy, guys searching all around for grip. Randall Dixon there in the middle. Harold Klump on the bottom, 3 wide. Just pick a line and you can run it right now at Bristol. This is what it's about, man. It's Bristol, baby. 19 laps to go for the 5 of Isaac Salas, who already, you know, starting to check back out. We're seeing it 0.67 here. He's starting to run away in that 5 machine. Is, you know, once you get to about a second, man, in dirt, that's a lifetime in racing. That's exactly what you want to see is Sam Bachman and Trevor Giroux battling hard. Sam Bachman knows that Trevor and his teammate are definitely in a points battle, so that's not one you're going to give up easy if you're that 007. At the same time, it may be one if he can get around Sam. Maybe the 9 doesn't make him work as hard as right now. Contact the 171, I believe Jake Henry. He's able to straighten it out here. Gary Sigelkow with no wheels at all. Oh, where are the leaders? He's able to get down low. Caution finally comes out. Man, that could have been bad. Let's go back and check out what happened to this 25 here. Started a little early. So Jake, you see, bounces off the wall. Who does he come down and collect? Man, is that Logan Wentz? It is Logan Wentz. Logan, I don't even mean that like that's Logan's fault. I've just seen him. I mean, he's been a tackling dummy out here today. So Harold gets a little loose. The 171 gets into him, and then there the tackling dummy comes along. I mean, the poor guy's just getting the hell beat out of that 118 machine, that right front See it bouncing. It's broke. He's going to have to come in and tow that thing. Gary Siegelkow, that's where he loses the left front. Now, where does Gary lose the right front? There, Gary loses the right front. With that, caution needed here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Isaac Salas, the man out front, enjoying the lead while he can in that 5. I mean, he's up there quite often. But it's not easy it's not easy to lead. See Kelsey out there, Kelsey rooting him on. That's Kelsey, ever since you've come along, he's turned into a better driver. I think everyone in this league will tell you that. So you might as well take all that credit for it. It's definitely, not him putting in hours and practicing. It's since Kels came along. So Kelsey, we owe you for the new version 2 of Slide Job Salas here. Let's see, I believe those lights did go off here. No, okay. Man, I'm blind. Oh, that's right. Bristol, I can cheat. They're on the track, too. I always forget that. It's nice. With the NASCAR stuff, they give you the lights on the side. I don't have to just find the pace car like I'm used to doing in dirt here. Now, why? It says Salas out. We see Salas is out. No, I'm not sure why. Oh, Dylan Kinsey getting up close and personal there with the camera. That was close. Wearing that 639 machine. As we roll down the backstretch for the final time, Isaac Salas will be set to bring us back to the green flag, and we'll have 15 laps to go. So right at the halfway point, can Isaac continue to hold this lead, or can the 444 find a way around? That green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We're halfway home. 15 laps to play if it plays. Ooh, battle heating up there. Sammy on the high side. He almost gets into that outside wall. Brian Lawson looking to get around. Trevor Giroux gets a tap there from the 639 and then ends up getting into the 56 of Randy Shreves. Randy trying to find his way around the 075 of Trevor Giroux. He's able to do just that. Trevor's stuck down on the bottom, but we've got a car around in the back. That's Michael Vecchio and Logan Wentz. No caution just yet here at Bristol. Finally, the caution does come out right as the leaders are coming here, so Isaac's going to have to check up. Everybody gets the message. Everybody survives. We're under caution once again here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Sorry, Shaggy's got to change that camera. Every time I'm clicking on a replay, it's bringing us up in the cockpit camera. That's not what we want here tonight, but let's see here. So Alex gets turned by the 1, and then the tackling dummy with nowhere to go, Logan Wentz. That poor guy, I'm telling you. Logan, he could not buy a track position or a spot on the track tonight. Poor guy, he's been getting beat everywhere he goes, and that's tough. Who else was involved in that? Was that Alex Pomerleau originally? I'll try to rewind this here. Yeah, that was Alex. Alex. Let's see another 1 here on my grid, so I'm trying to fish. That could be. Is it Michael Vecchio? Yeah, it is. So it says 1M, but 247. That's why we ask you guys make your paints match. Because, boy, man, it's hard whenever I know, guys run different leagues. But us broadcasters, we broadcast different leagues. So, when we learn you by a certain number, try to help us out with that. Because Isaac Salas is hoping these lights go off, but they're going to stay on. We're going to go around one more time. stuck on the bottom on every restart. He's hoping that this thing is double file once again. He's in 6th place, would finally move up there to that high side. That's where the drivers want to be right now, it seems like. At least the middle. Maybe not, you know, way up high, but you don't want to be cut down there on the apron. That's where you just can't get that drive off. The guys up next to you can't float up out of the corner. Lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car. That was our 3rd caution of the night here, so I'm anxious to see single file. But Trevor had to try and be optimistic. Like I say, it was his first time finally getting an even number and being able to start on the high side, and then he can't even do it. Here is we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time, and Isaac Salas gets set to bring us back to the green flag for the 4th restart of the night. As he blinks there, that's going to make it interesting. Ooh, man, Scott Rayom did a good job of timing that. Able to stick right with that 5. That could have been either devastating for the 5 if the Scott went too early, you know, and got into him, and he appeared inside of each other. Could have been brutal, but Trevor Giroux maybe getting a little too aggressive here, trying to look under the 56 early. Now he's going to lose that spot maybe to the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. He's not going to go away, keeping that left rear up there. The Philly Flyer going to send it in. He pushes in the middle of the corner. He's going to be able to break down that run of the 639, and Trevor Giroux holds on to P6 for now. Battle heating up for P2. Scott Rayom gets a little sideways. The 9 gives him a tap enter in the corner. Messes up his entry a little bit. Well, the 444 is going to pay him back for that. Going to pinch him down in the middle of the corner, and now his teammate gets around the 9. So that's a little FTM working together in there. Is Scott Rayom helping his teammate out in that 007. Now the 007 looking to the outside here, maybe trying to find a way around. Can the 9 do the same thing? Scott Rayom going to go up there and close the door. I mean, that's teamwork there, you know. I mean, hey, Sam, you're quicker than me. Give him hell, dude. I'll play a little defense for you. Sam Bachman able to move around the top shelf, move on up to P2, and now he's got to see if he can run down this 5 of Isaac Salas. See the gaps there throughout the field. Anthony Morano comes around, but we're under caution. I believe the 118 of Logan Wentz involved again. Not too sure what happened here, but you see beat up race car for that 118. We'll start here with Michael Vitale in that white 213. That's a case of, let's just see here. I mean, he holds his line. Looking at it, I mean, it looks like that's the 32 floating up and gets into that left rear and pushes him around. I know that's not something Anthony's going to do on purpose, but you can't put anything on the 213 there of Michael Vitale. He comes back up the track. Alex Pomerleau, with absolutely nowhere to go, is just obliterated. That's what brings up the caution here. Let's go on board with Alex. Let's see what he sees here at Bristol. And this is where, you know, you're expecting the guy to hold his brakes. And I understand Michael is frustrated, but when you don't hold your brakes, when you wreck, this is what happens. Alex, you know, just holds his line and he's like, where can I go? And you hear him, he stomps the throttle because he doesn't know what to do. There's nothing you can do. You hit the brakes there, you're going to spin around, and he's going to get himself in the wall and tear up the right front. Well, if you hammer down, you're going to tear up the left front there, definitely, by the car pulling back up on the tracks. Tough break, but, you know, that's what happens sometimes, and with we're gonna have 4 laps to go here when we take the green, or 5 to go, excuse me, Guys are running out of time here to get around that 5 of Isaac Salas. Scott Rayom in that 444. Trying to get some heat back in those tires. See him swerving around as the lights go off in the Steve King Foundation pace car, and we'll get set to come back with 5 laps to go at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Worst time in the world for Shaggy to start sneezing here as we get ready to go green flag. So if you hear me sneeze, my apologies. But the green flag is high. It's ready to fly back underway. 5 laps to play. Isaac Salas with a great jump. Sam Bachman maybe caught sleeping a little bit. The 2 rubbing behind him. The 9 of Brian Lawson. Got to get those elbows out. Doesn't want to get forced down low. That's exactly what he does. And, I mean, that's what you got to do. There's nothing wrong with rubbing a little bit. Now, Brian's got to play nice here. His teammates in a points battle, and man, maybe, goes up and inches that 075 a little bit. That's not what you want to see if you're down there in that Venom Racing camp. You want guys to maybe be a little more aware of that as Isaac Salas rolls through 3 and 4, and be set or rolls through 1 and 2, excuse me, as we roll down the backstretch now through 3 and 4, and coming out this time, gonna have 2 laps to go for the 5 of Isaac Salas. Can Sam Bachman reel him in and make a move? And I just don't know. That 5 has been so good. Hasn't made many mistakes tonight as he rolls out of 4. White flag in the air. Final time around for slide job. Oh, caution! Caution comes out before the field gets there. Caution at Bristol Motor Speedway. Oh, man. Things really got shaken up there. It looked like to me drivers had taken the white flag, but oh, man. Caution comes out, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Well, I mean, man, I'm seeing guys race a little more aggressive, I do understand it's hard to pass. I get it. And I mean, I'm an aggressive driver too when I'm in there, but I'm not the one racing, so it's easy for me to talk. Now, if you're the 639 of Dylan, you're not really there, I understand technically you're there, but man, you're not. And when you see the guy coming down, you kind of got to crack the throttle or, and that happens. What goes around comes around in racing, and I mean, and you don't really own the spot in the 56 there. Excellent job of locking up the brakes that we talk about. That's how you get the caution. Doesn't hit anyone else. Well, I mean, you race other people that way, it's going to come back around, and that's not, saying what he did at all was wrong. I mean, he technically did hold his ground, but, or, technically was there and just held his ground, but, man, if you don't have that full tire underneath the guy, it's, in racing, you don't necessarily consider the guy there. I mean, we were coming to 1, 2 to go, so I understand running out of laps, but, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So. Maybe the break Sam Bachman needed in the 007 is he wasn't going to be able to get to that 5 of Isaac Salas. Now has one more chance to do so. This is where if you're Trevor Giroux, you're maybe pleading with your teammate here. Man, can I please get 4th? It's not a podium spot. Can I get the spot from it? It'll help me out in the points, but you never know what kind of talking goes on down there. It may just be, hey, No team orders. You can race for yourself. So that can get you into trouble. As the Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off, that green flag's high. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered is underway. Isaac Salas leads us back to the green flag. Brian Lawson sticks his nose down below that 4, and he's going to get loose, and the 075 tightens up as he had his chance to look upstairs. But, man, now the Ant-Man here, they're battling in points. He's right underneath him. This is not what the 075 wants, is a white flag in the air. Isaac Salas, he's been perfect all night. I told you, he starts up front. You pick the 5. You're dumb not to. I tried to tell everybody. Free money here tonight. Checkered flag waves for the 5 of Slide Job Isaac Salas. Sam Bachman P2 and Scott Rayom holds off the fight for P3. Brian Lawson P4. Anthony Morano able to get around Trevor Giroux to take that final top 5 spot. And I know Trevor is a nice guy. He won't say anything. But boy, I know he's thinking about 7 laps ago when he went to make that move on the high side and he got pinched in the outside wall. Possibly cost him 15 or 20 points here tonight because, would have been up a spot. Anthony able to get around him. And that may be a tough pill to swallow here for Trevor Giroux. We'll give Scott a chance to catch his breath, get on up here to the Discord, and Shaggy doing things a little different tonight, different screens, so he was already there. It was me who was having the delay, as we'll bring up the 444. Scott, man, well, you had your hands full, but I want to talk to you about something because, dude, I respect the hell out of you for it, and I wish we saw more guys do this. Now, do you want to enlighten us on how Sam got by you?
Sam's in the points. I'm not. That's about as much as I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, and I just say that because I know Sam's in the points, and I saw a similar situation, happen behind you, but they did not at all hand it the way I think they should have, the way you handled it. And
well, not for nothing, but I'm going to try to do this as politically correct as I can, Shaggy. But on multiple occasions, on the last 2 restarts, I love Brian Lawson to death, and I know he's Team Venom, and I know there was a countdown. And I ran him down on the last restart. I ran him down onto the bottom because he got the jump. And I understand we do the same thing. Not saying we don't, but it is what it is. We're teams, obviously FTM, Venom. What I'd really like to address, though, is when are we going to fix the freaking blinking? At the beginning of the race, I lifted because there's a car in front of me is blinking. So I lift because I don't want to get into somebody that's blinking. Next, when he comes back on the track, he's a half a straightaway ahead. Come on. When are we going to do something about this?
Yeah, I did address that a little bit, and I thought you handled it very well. That's not,
I get
not
it.
An easy thing to do when you're in second, and you did a good job of,
I get it. I get it. He's awesome. He's good at this. He's really great. It is what it is. But at the same time, enough's enough, man. He's blinking on every restart at this point. Do something about it, or you're going to lose a lot of freaking cars because we're sick of it.
Well,
that's all I'm going to say, Shaggy.
Yeah.
Let me go to who I'm going to thank, because if I say any more, I'm probably not going to be allowed to run anymore, because you know how politically correct this league is. So FTM, Gunner, Swan Speed Shop, Diener Super Dirt Car, and that's all I got to say, Shaggy. Have a good night.
A great run, Scott. I'll talk to you later, my
Thanks,
man.
bud. Yep.
And now we're going to bring up the man who finished P2 here in the 007. Sam, it seemed like, you had a hot rod tonight, but, man, once you finally got up to P2, it just seemed like it was caution after caution. You couldn't really get that run to try to run down Isaac. Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, first off, just gotta thank Scotty there. He may have let me by or may not have, but he helped me
I
out a
asked
little
him
bit.
about it. I said it live on the broadcast, but dude, that's what. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. You know, it's not like he's pulling over blocking. That's part of the deal. I mean, I think like I don't know, like you say, broadcasters got to stay out of it. But Scott brought up a really good point, and I mean, if it, there's no way that there's anything wrong with that, if like with the way we count down restarts, I mean, looking here at some of these restarts, I mean, the nine's up beside him, so yeah, teams are going to work together. That's just a part of racing, and that's something you expect. If you got a teammate in a points battle, let him go try to get it done, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, the track felt pretty good too. I had the thing really railing or whatever, but I felt like if I would have got to Isaac at the end, I probably would have been not able to pass him unless I may have bumped him out of the way or if he messed up. But it was pretty one lane.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that myself, rubbered up a little bit. You guys kind of wanted the middle. Do you think when we get the big blocks out here next, you get a little more power on that top shelf, you'll be able to run against the wall, or what do you expect here?
Oh yeah, I hopefully 1 and 2 or 1 and 2 is a little better. 1 and 2 in the 358s was really bumpy in the 358s, but hopefully it's a little better up there and we can run the top in and get her banging the wall and take the win.
Well, hey, good run here, Sammy, man. You needed the points, and you did just that. Got a good P2 here, able to hack away at that thing a little bit. So congratulations, my man. Good run, and who you want to thank?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Shaggy you for broadcasting, and Coast to Coast, and Isaac.
Well, hey, great run, Sam, and good luck here in the big blocks, brother.
Yes, sir.
And now we're going to bring up the man who got it done here, Isaac Salas in the 5. Well, you got out front here early, and you just kind of set sail, not really feeling any pressure from behind tonight. I mean, how'd the car feel, kid?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. It was pretty solid to figure out what kind of line I wanted to run, and like once I kind of got into a groove there, it was easy to really kind of just put together some fast laps back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, when you can run that lane out there by yourself, obviously you got your choice. But I saw a lot of guys struggling through 1 and 2, man. And it's been a long time since I've run Bristol. Explain to me a little bit. What are they hitting some sort of bump that's tightening that car up and shooting it up the track? I mean,
Uh,
what's going on there?
yeah.
I truly don't know. It's been a long time. So this isn't a pretend broadcast question. I really don't know what that's about.
Well, I haven't ran Bristol in over a year, so whenever the last time we ran here, and there was like crazy bumps, kind of like I don't know what you'd want to say, late corner of 1 and 2, and I guess a little bit of 3 and 4, and it just like almost just want your car to push up towards the wall, and it was kind of sketchy. If you hit it wrong, I think I got up one time in 1 and 2, I want to say it was, and I almost plowed the wall if I'm being honest. So yeah, it was fun, but it was definitely a little bouncy.
Well, hey, man, able to get another one done here. Congratulations, my man. I love talking to you in that 5 machine, leading all the laps here. I expect some more when you come out in the big block. But before I kick you out, man, who you want to thank?
Yeah, big shout out to Venom Racing. It's good to see everyone, that does come out, have some decent nights, and it's always a pleasure to race with those guys. Dean the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Tommy Gun Customs, JRB Designs, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, Top Notch Trucking, Shaggy TV, Regency Home Inspections, Mom, Dad, Gramps. I know Kelsey's watching, so thanks to her. Yeah, and thanks to Brian for that paint scheme again. I figured it better at least run it one more time during the week because I'm, before I swap into the paint scheme I got on the big block, and happy to show out a little bit with it on.
Well, hey, great run, my man. And like I say, I expect just as much here in the big block. So good luck, kid. And I hope I'm talking to you again.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hopefully I'm not blinking in that one.
Yeah. Listen to the interviews. Good luck here in the next one. As that'll do it for us here on part 1 of Thursday Night Thunder. We're going to take a real quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're going to put the 358s in the haulers, and we're going to get out the big blocks. So stick around, and we'll be right back with more racing action on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus. So let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Well, I could have swore I unmuted myself, but I guess I didn't, so we'll do this again here. We're back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for Part 2 of Thursday Night Thunder at Bristol Motor Speedway. Part 2 brought to you, of course, by Atlantic Management Resources. Thank you as well for picking up the sponsorship. I mean, we've got two wonderful sponsors here on Thursday night. Amity Construction Excavating Corporation and Atlantic Management Resources. I mean, we couldn't put this stuff on without you guys, and we do truly appreciate it. You guys are, you know, what help make the Coast to Coast Network racing home for these drivers and allow their families to go back and check out different broadcasts here and there. So it's right around here. Let's actually, we don't do this much. Let's go aboard a Dino here for a lap. They'll probably advance here before too long. They do right now. Shaggy's getting pretty good at this. Just turned 8 o'clock. Guys pulling off the track. So we are going to roll. And, well, Dino, you had your quick moment in the sun. And we're going to get ready to roll into qualifying here. Let's see who pulls on the track first. As that's Dino, but actually Logan beat him to the punch here. Oh, and Logan didn't like what he did there coming out of the pit, so Logan says, no, I'm going to restart. Shaggy, you should have left it on Dino. He's going to beat him to the line. So let's run around with Dino here, lap number 1. Here he comes. Making that middle top shelf there with all that speed you have in the big block. We're going to stay on with Dino here the whole time. I want to see what he does in lap number 2. Yeah, okay. High line first time, that's what you should do. Go up there, see what it got, let it eat. Now lap number 2. You go down there and you don't worry about pitching speed off and screwing another lap. Just go ahead and give it all you got on this one. Swing it down there on the bottom. And Dino, where does he bring it home? Dino moves on up to P3. That's exactly what you needed to do. Just laid the blueprint. Now, some guys will do it better than others, but you'll want to rip that basement here as we see Sam Bachman come across the line. Where does Sam bring it home? P6 as we watch our 358 winner here drive around in the 5 slide job, Isaac Salas. Running the bottom through 3 and 4. As he comes out of 4, what does this lap look like? Purple through sector 1. Oh, him and his teammate take the top 2 spots, the Philly Flyer, and Isaac Salas holding onto the front row. Isaac slower through sector 1. Let's see what he can do here through sector 2. It is quicker for him. Not going to improve the lap. Isaac Salas going to stay P2. And that's all your qualifiers. Trevor Giroux, P1. Isaac, P2. Randy Shreves P3, Michael Vitale 4th, and Randall Dixon rounding out the top 5 as we get ready for heat race number 1 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Starting on the pole in the 118, Logan Wentz, into his outside in the 007, James Bond, Sammy Bachman. Inside of row number 2, the 213 of Michael Vitale, into his outside, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. The Canadian, Alex Pomerleau, lines up to the inside of row number 3, into his outside, Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Lining up on the inside of row number 4 and rounding out the field in that 161, we've got the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. As my mic volume seems a little low, let's see here if I can mess with that. Thank you, Butch, for telling me. Let's turn myself up a little bit. And we'll see how this goes. Butch, if you don't mind, shoot me another message out there then whenever you get a chance. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 underway. And where did we go here? There we go. She disappeared. Magic. It's back as the 007. He's got the lead here in the early stages. Logan Wentz fighting hard on the bottom, but the Philly Flyer not willing to go away. He's trying to move on up into P2. Maybe the teammates trying to work a little action here to get a little 1-2, but I just don't know how they can do it. Not at this stage, not when the track is this fast, because you see the 75, he'll just tuck that thing in the middle. He thought about making it 3 wide. Oh, Superman gets loose. The 397 gets collected. Michael Vitale then involved, and the 213 goes around. Able to turn it around and keep it straight, but he's going to lose a bunch of spots. And going to have to start towards the back in tonight's feature as the 007, Sam Bachman, tries to protect from the Philly Flyer. Trevor Giroux trying to make it work here as we roll out of 4, coming to the halfway point, 4 more laps to go. Trevor going to look upstairs here, see if he can't find some grip. He's side by side with the 007 going down the backstretch. Can he make it stick through 3 and 4? Sam's going to float up, shut the door. Trevor's going to counter back side by side at the line, give it to the Philly Flyer. Slide job for the lead. Oh man, the 007 counter and back. Now is he going to think about a slide job? The Philly Flyer's going to have to counter back, coming out of 4. They're side by side once again. But that 75, he is quick right now, and he's trying to pull away here. Going to complete the slider. Lost the rear end a little bit. Now we're 3 wide. We're for a second. Logan Wentz thought about getting in there. He hits the bump. He tightens up through 3 and 4. Oh, he almost shut his teammate up into the wall. Sam Bachman lifts. Now he falls into the 218's clutches. Kurt Schatzer, Superman, going from 4th to 2nd through 1 and 2 on the last lap as we roll through 3 and 4. Checkered flag in the air. The Philly Flyer brings home heat race number 1, followed by Kurt Schatzer, Sam Bachman, Logan Wentz, Alex Pomerleau, Terry Landis, and Michael Vitale. Thank you, Butch. I see now you said much better. Appreciate that. Sometimes, man, the camera volume's at different tracks. Tough time for me to judge off the soundboard on my other screen, so I really do appreciate the help there. And, well, your Venom guys, we got a Venom guy gonna lead us to the front, lead us to the feature here after Trevor Giroux takes home heat race number 1. Let's take a look here. Heat race number 2, starting on the pole in the 171. Jake Henry into his outside in the 639. Dylan Kinsey. Randall Dixon in the 011 lines up on the inside of row number 2. Into his outside, slide job, Isaac Salas. Rounding out the field in row number 3 to the inside, the 2 of Harold Klum. Into his outside in the 247, Michael Vecchio. As we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time, that Steve King Foundation pace car will pull off And the 171 of Jake Henry is set to bring us to the green flag. 8 laps to play in the clay at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we're underway. Jake Henry trying to slide up in front of the 5. He's going to do it. The 5 has to check up. He loses a spot to the 011 of Randall Dixon. Meanwhile, the 171 of Jake Henry thinks about throwing it in deep, has to crack out of the throttle, and we're single file the top 6. Isaac says not so fast here. He's going to go down. He's going to try to make something work here as he enters into the bottom in 3. He's got that thing planted down there. What kind of run does he get off? Not as good as he'd like, but he is even with the 011 and the 5. Making it work here downstairs early on. Slides up in front of the 011 of Randall Dixon. He's showing you right now he wants to be up top, but he can make it work all over this racetrack. And coming with 5 to go, plenty of time to still move on up for this 5 car. Michael Vecchio trailing off back here in the 747, that AMR machine. Isaac Salas trying to get a little dirty here in 3 and 4. Dives down low. Can't find the grip off. Going to try it one more time in 1 and 2. Pulls to the left rear, the 171 in the middle of 1 and 2, but can't find that drive off just yet as we roll out of 3 and 4. 3 more trips around the Bristol Motor Speedway. Jake's just following in that 639's tire tracks, and this is where the 5's got the advantage through 1 and 2. Makes up a lot of time on entry and in the middle, but just can't find that grip off. But here he comes. 2 more trips around, and Isaac Salas blinks out a little bit. And, well, this leads into that controversy here. Not what he wanted to see, but Isaac Salas moves on up to P2, and now he's got his sights set on the 639. White flag in the air, 1 more trip around. Can he find a way around that FTM machine, or can Dylan Kinsey get it done on the high side? He slips up on the top shelf in 1 and 2. He opens the door for the 5 of Isaac Salas. Isaac gonna float up, shut that door, and we've got a Venom 1-2 for tonight's feature as Isaac takes home heat race number 2. Dylan Kinsey P2, Randall Dixon 3rd, Harold Klump 4th, Michael Vecchio 5th, and Jake Henry rounds out the field. Heck of a move there for that 5. Isaac Salas is, man, he put the work boots on and really put his head down here in heat race number 2, going from 4th to 1st, just like his teammate in that 075. And, well, Venom telling everybody, hey, we came to play tonight at Bristol. As we get ready for your 3rd and final heat race here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Starting on the pole in the 513, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker into his outside in that 444. Scott Rayone. Inside of row number 2, the 79 of Dean Reynolds into his outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Rounding out the field in row number 3, the 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And to his outside in the 9 machine, Brian Lawson is... Get your popcorn ready. This could be an eventful heat race number 3 is... Well, Shaggy's going to have to do that real quick. Reload the overlay. My apologies. It's okay because Jeff's in this race, so he was being nice. He didn't cut the pace lap short. He knew Shaggy was having a little bit of an issue. And man, what a save from the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. He has no idea what he did for us, but yeah, he's the real hero tonight in that 513, that's for sure. And actually, is it actually even going to come back? So maybe I spoke too early here. It is a good thing, though, that we're going around this extra lap because, as you see, still not working here. We're going to get it to work, though. I think. Possibly. Well, not yet on your end. I'm going to keep tinkering with it, but the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. The Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker with a good start. Scott Rayome to his outside. And, well, Shaggy's going to keep digging here on these overlays, so this may not be the most well commentated as we're looking at a couple different screens, but the Brewerton Beast trying to hold serve down on the bottom. as the 444 Scott Rayom makes it work up top, though, going down the front stretch. He's your new leader. Randy Shreves in the 56 trying to follow him around. Gets a little tight. The 79 has to check up, as not having much luck here yet for Shaggy, as we're still trying to get this to work. My apologies, but 6 laps to go. Scott Rayom leads the way. The Brewerton Beast stuck downstairs, and Dean Reynolds finds his way on by, and here comes the 9 of Brian Lawson, as Randy Shreves trying to run down your leader here. And we're going to have to close this down and reopen it here, as Shaggy's running out of ideas. My apologies here. So you're going to see that pop back up one more time. Scott Rayom leads the way with 4 laps to go, but Randy Shreves slowly trickling into that lead. He's probably gonna, you see him right there. He's gonna be on that tail tank here when we come to the close, but will he be able to find a way around in that 56? That's gonna be the question. Have to see here. Man, oh man. Shaggy trying to get this to work here as we come to 2 to go. You're going to see that pop up one more time. I've got to try to quit this here and reload it on our end. But as we roll through 3 and 4, Randy Shreves all over the tail tanker, your leader. He looks low. White flag in the air. One more trip around for the 56. Or for the 444, excuse me. Can the 56 find a way around? As Scott Rayom has that thing dialed in the middle, he's going to hold on, and he's going to bring home heat race number 3, followed by Randy Shreves, Anthony Morano, Dean Reynolds, Brian Lawson, and Jeff Barker. And we're going to take a quick... Actually, Shaggy's going to mute himself, but we're not going to take the normal commercial break. I don't think Roger and them will be mad at me. I'm going to try to tinker with this overlay, so you're not going to hear me talk at all. But stick around here. You'll get to watch a little bit of warm-ups, and then we'll bring you the final feature here. Hopefully I can get this overlay to work, because I'm kind of running out of options. Man, your boy Shaggy was panicking there. It took half a... And then there, I scream a little bit too loud into the microphone when I laugh. That's why I turn myself down sometimes. You heard me cut off mid-sentence. My mic, or my computer, doesn't exactly like all the audio input. I'll hear a doo-doo, doo-doo whenever I get a little too loud, and that means that you guys can't hear me anymore. So try to adjust that, try to find the equilibrium, but right now the top 2 are going to be the top 2 here in the feature. Isaac Salas, or Trevor Giroux and Isaac Salas, 1 and 2 in warm-ups going to start just that way. Track is going to change, but right now, they got almost a 10th on the rest of the field. Pretty impressive here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Not easy to do in the fixed setups. You have to see if anybody can play with these guys tonight, run them down at all. See Dean Reynolds playing around here with Randy Shreves a little bit, trying to find a way around. Going to shoot to the bottom, 3 and 4. Just looking for a little moisture there. Doesn't look like he's going to get enough to get it done. And as the checkered flag waves on warm-ups, that'll bring it to a close, and we're going to get set for tonight's final feature here on Thursday Night Thunder, presented by Atlantic Management Resources. Let's take a look at tonight's starting grid. Starting on the pole in the 075, we've got the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, and to his outside, his teammate, Isaac Salas. Inside of row number 2 in the 444, Scott Rayome, and to his outside, in the 218, Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Dylan Kinsey lines up on the inside of row number 3, and to his outside, Randy Shreves. Sammy Bachman, 007, James Bond lines up on the inside of row 4, and his outside in the 011, Randall Dixon. The Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, lines up on the inside of row 5, and to his outside, his teammate in the 118, Logan Wentz. Harold Klump lines up to the inside of row 6, and to his outside, he's got Dean Reynolds. Starting in the Baker's Dozen spot, the Canadian Alex Pomerleau, and to his outside in the 247, Michael Vecchio. Brian Lawson lines up to the inside of row 8, and to his outside in the 161, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Jake Henry lines up to the inside of row 9, and to his outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And all by himself in row number 10, the 213 of Michael Vitale, as we get set to take the green flag at Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to do one more lap around, let drivers get a little more heat in the motor, and in that 075, he's going to drop the hammer, and he's going to try not to look back, because that 5 of Isaac Salas, he's going to be right there, and he's going to be hungry. I picked the 5 of Isaac to win last race, and I'm going to pick... Oh, man. I'm going to pick the 75 here. Trevor's going to get it done. Trevor's going to get it done here in that 075. Not going to be easy with that 5 to his outside, but that green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 30 laps to play in the clay at Bristol Motor Speedway. Trevor Giroux brings us to the green flag. Going to watch the static cams here early on. Watch all the guys race here around the track. Just watch them mix it up. You're seeing almost the same car there. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you, I promise. They're all FTM teammates in a similar ride. And Randall Dixon in that orange machine stuck in the middle of them there in that 011. Trevor and his teammate trying to pull away, and right as I say that, Harold Klump and Brian Lawson get together. I think Jake Henry involved as well, and we're under caution for the first time here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Ooh. Not too sure if, that's him maybe hitting the throttle, gathering it back up. It comes down hard into the 9. Brian Lawson, he could do absolutely nothing about that. Oh, and the 171, that's when he's involved. Harold not holding the brakes, and Jake Henry gets a little piece of the action there in that 171 machine. Our man Jack Hitt chiming in out there. Yeah, if you're, we don't broadcast those, but Jack, I may join up, man, and get my butt kicked after this one. So, well, no, I don't want to tell you that, and then you hold the session up. I got to see what the wife does. If I can get in there in time, maybe I join up and get my butt kicked in the digits a little bit. We'll see what's going on. As we roll around here, Bristol Motor Speedway. Lights still on, so not ready to go green just yet, but the driver's already deciding what lines they're going to be in here, as it looks like the Philly Flyer are going to choose the bottom. as we roll through 3 and 4. I believe as we cross the start-finish line, lights should go off this time, and we should get the 1 to green. If you're out there watching, it's still early enough as far as I'm concerned. Got a bunch of people out there watching. Got like 20-some guys out there watching. I don't see anything in the chat box. Who do you think's going to win? I want to know who you got. I laid my heart out there on the line. I took that 075. Who you got? Who's going to bring home the checkers here in the final event of the night here for Thursday Night Thunder? As we roll through 3 and 4. For the final time, the Steve King Foundation pace car will pull off. And the Philly Flyer drops that hammer. We're back underway. Superman able to get a good jump and pull up into third. Is battle really heating up, though, behind Randy Shreves. They're 3. Oh! Who was involved there? The 118 of Logan Wentz. Michael Vecchio, he had to tow in ballpark. No caution. We continue here at Bristol. Battling hard there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Scott Rayome, Dylan Kinsey, and Randy Shreves. You could put those 3 under a blanket. And then you got the Ant-Man behind, battling under Randall Dixon. Battling all over the track here early on at Bristol. Terry Landis, that first guy, really sneaking up top, like trying to search around. Now we see Dean and those other boys up there in the Hershey Kisses trying to find something. Drives it in up there on entry, drives it back down, and Sam Bachman going to throw it up there the whole way. That 007, he's the first man, that silver car we see is really slinging it up there, trying to let that thing eat up there on the top shelf. Ooh, Randall Dixon in the wall. Couldn't tell who that was who got into him. I believe Sam Bachman in the 007. That was him. You see that big gap now. Sammy's got to put his head down, try to run these guys back down. It's going to be a lot of time to make up. Still 22 laps to go. As I believe we roll, past the start-finish line. Now 22 laps to go. I was pretty sure we were in 3 and 4. Guys running out of time. This 075. Trevor Giroux, man, he is on rails. Kurt Schatzer pretty quick as well. The top 3 kind of doing their own thing. Scott Rayome in that 444 possibly pacing himself, maybe going by strategy. Maybe thinking we're going to have a late caution, save some stuff, just have it left at the end. But as you see, we roll into this camera. Driver's starting to single file out as you see Terry Landis get a little sideways. That's going to bring the pack up to him there in the back. But right now, with guys spread out, you're not really looking, and I don't want to jinx this here, but you're not really looking at another caution. With the way the field's spread out, this is has all the makings of a long green flag run. So you're going to do it. You're going to have to do it the hard way, and you're going to have to find a way around these guys. As Isaac Salas trimming the fat on that lead. He's coming up to the back of his teammate in that 075. Let's go on board with Isaac for a lap. That's Trevor. Excuse me. Now we're on board with Isaac. Running a half a lane lower here. Doesn't get the drive off the corner, but makes up what he doesn't get off exit on entries, driving it in a little deeper. Or possibly picking up the throttle a little earlier if he's coasting in. But he's not. You can hear that thing screaming. He's driving it in deep. Just finding a way to make it stick with the Philly Flyer. That's where he's so good, off the top and forward. Guys just struggling to find a way to be as fast as they can here. As Logan Wentz, those guys back here in the back. Terry Landis and Brian Lawson going at it. That's Michael Vitale in the 213. Excuse me. Michael able to get the run on the high side. He goes around. Now here comes Brian Lawson. He's going to look to the inside of that 161. Got to crack the throttle, though, going down the backstretch, and all that ground he gained, he lost. This is the Canadian downstairs in that 397. He's trying to make a run. But Superman, you see him parked there. That's a no parking zone. Caution out at Bristol Motor Speedway. What happened to Superman? Racing with the 444, Scott Rayome. Scott gets into the back of him there in the middle of the corner and just not able to catch it hard into the inside wall. And let's go back. Let's take a look at this here. I mean, Kurt's there. That's, you know, I mean, that tells it for itself. You know, maybe he didn't mean to do that, but boy, he's there. And when you're already pushing the limit, doing the speed jar at Bristol on the clay, nonetheless, and you know you're a little sideways, you're on throttle. All it takes is a little kiss from behind, and that's what the 444 did to Superman. And all of a sudden, the cape got ripped off. It's in the trash, and Kurt Schatzer, he's got to go get that quick repair and try to get out there and do it all over again. All right, I see that comment. Now, while it's easy to say that, you can see what he's already fighting here. He's got that wheel turned back the other way. What now? You can see that thing. Now, I can actually, I hate to do this, but when you're going to say that, we're going to zoom out here. I want you to see, because it is not as easy as you guys think it is. Zoom out here. Watch him fight this wheel. And you tell me again that he had it saved. So the guys are back under green, so we're going to jump live here, but he did not have that thing saved. All it takes is one little push and you go around. Trust me, I've driven these things enough. I've gotten that contact that, like I say, that's not shot at Scott. Scott, he wouldn't do that on purpose. It's not a dirty move, but when you get into the back of somebody at these kind of speeds, that's what's going to happen. And now he finds himself with his hands full. He's got the 639 below him. His teammate, Dylan Kinsey, he tries to mount a charge on the bottom. Doesn't want to stay down there too long. But Randy Shreves can maybe get a look on that high side in the 56. Here comes Dino sending it in deep. Going to get a big run off of 2. And now he looks to the outside of the Ant-Man. Maybe looking to go 2 for 1 here. Can he get to the outside of Randy Shreves? Not just yet as we go down the front stretch. Dino going to drive it back upstairs here, looking to get to the top of that 56. I think they make a little contact. Randy does get into the wall. There we caught the end of it, but that's, you know, you slide up. I mean, Dino had a big run on the high side. Dino may not have had time to crack that out. Now the 118 gets into the back of the 56. The 118 gets a rear bumper. He gets fed into the wall. Then he gets hit by his teammate in the 007. Caution out. Oh, Isaac Salas wrecking. Isaac Salas is what brought the yellow flag out here. Isaac Salas and Scott Rayome racing hard here for P2, it looks like. See what we saw happen. And well, let's see if we can get a lap or two of this. Let's see how. So Scott's coming on the high side. Now let's see here. To the outside, going in. Now we're going to slow it down. Now, all right. So, you know, somebody throws a slider, you can stay in the throttle, and I know, this stems back to hard racing, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't think that's these guys are really good, and I think we're above racing each other like this. But that's all I have to say. There's some of the best guys we have, and I've seen what they can put on when they're at their best. And the scientists, we can definitely disagree. And I think if you're running for points like Kurt Schatzer is, I think you're going to save that thing and hold on to 6th instead of dropping to the back and just quitting the race, after you got turned. But to each their own. As the lights are still on in the Steve King Foundation pace car. No pace truck tonight. We roll back and forth. I don't know, actually. I think it's all basically off host settings, I think, who picks what pace car. Because sometimes we have the truck, sometimes we have the car. I'm still waiting for iRacing to let us be able to paint the pace car for like the hosted session. I think the host should be able to have your own pace car paint. That would be pretty neat and would make some charity races look pretty cool. So anybody out there at iRacing, probably not listening, but hey, if you are, I think that's one of the decent ideas I have. This brain doesn't come up with many, but I see a lot of leagues who run the charities, and instead of having to have a human go out there and run a fake pace vehicle, be nice to be able to just slap that on a skin. I wouldn't think it'd be too hard. As we roll around, we'll have 8 laps to go here when the Philly Flyer takes the green flag, and just got to try to ace this restart here, try to build up a little bit of a gap, and then that 444, he was coming on the top shelf. Like he was starting to build up some speed up there, and Scott Rayom could be a factor in this thing as the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. 8 laps to play at Bristol Motor Speedway. The Philly Flyer brings us back to the green flag. Scott Rayom immediately going up there, and them Hershey Kisses loses the rear end just a little bit. Dylan Kinsey thought about it, but just cracks the throttle, and we got 4 FTM cars in line, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th here. So Trevor, he's got to be perfect. You don't want to look up in this rearview mirror. You just want to focus out that window. Hit your marks as Logan Wentz feeling the pressure from the 011 of Randall Dixon. Brian Lawson trying to get a run as well, trying to follow around Logan Wentz on the outside. Not too sure which line's going to prevail right now, as it looks like Randall fighting for grip here. Tries to float up and shut the door, but just couldn't. 5 laps to go this time by as the leaders cross the line. Trevor Giroux with a half-second gap to that 444. Dylan Kinsey holding on to P3 for now. But will Dino get hungry here? Will he come up and try to get into this podium? Don't count out that 79. I don't care if they are teammates in front of him. That 79 would love to bring home a podium here at Bristol. Teammate in the wall in front of him, the 444 is Scott Rayom. He's going to lose P2 to the 639. Dino not close enough, though, to make a move. And coming out of 4 this time, 3 laps to go for the Philly Flyer, who's checking out. Got that lead to 0.8, almost the second now, as he rolls out of 2. The Philly Flyer, man, he's just looking so smooth through 3 and 4 as he comes across the start-finish line. 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. He does not want to see a caution. Wants this thing to stay green. You got to think he's got this thing wrapped up without a late caution flag. As we roll out of 4, white flag in the air. 1 more trip around for the Philly Flyer. I picked him to win. I knew he'd be hard to beat off the front. mic down because you didn't get to hear that awesome call because I scream too much when I get excited. But the Philly Flyer here takes home the checkered flag. Dylan Kinsey P2, Dean Reynolds 3rd, Scott Rayone 4th, and the Ant-Man rounds out the top 5. As 4 FTM cars bringing up the top 5, and Isaac Salas congratulating his teammate there in the 075 as Trevor able to bring it home. Wasn't an easy race, but able to withstand and bring it home. As give these guys a minute or two to catch their breath, and you'll get to see this man. He's back there a ways right now, but I'll tell you, believe it or not, he finished 3rd, able to get around Scott Rayome on that white flag lap, and Dino brings home the podium. Let's see here. Nobody down in the waiting room yet. There's Dylan Kinsey. We'll wait on him, and we'll bring up the man who finished P3. Dino, man, I'll tell you what, dude. You made it look easier than I bet it was tonight, man. Started, where are we starting? 12th, bringing it up to 3rd. I mean, up 9 spots, a podium and a hard charger. Not easy to do, brother.
Well, the track finally came into my hands. I think I found the top quicker than a lot of other guys. I was not comfortable in 358s. I started 4th and finished 9th, I think, but I gave up all those spots pushing coming off the corner, and I had brake on, brake off. I think I just needed more horsepower, but once I got up to the fluff there and I said, oh, I think this is going to work, and then I started picking some cars off and got a little lucky with some guys getting in the wall and having some incidents, but yeah, we'll take the 3rd. It helped out the ego a little bit. I haven't had a good 2 days here, and so between Hometown Heroes and then my screen went black running 2nd in Super Week last night, and then the small block race. So we'll take a podium, and I'll do it with a smile. And it was good to see Dylan do good, and congratulations to Trevor. Man, he was strong. He was really strong.
Yeah, he was quick. I mean, it's not very often, that you can pull away from Scott Rayome and Isaac Salas, but dude, he was doing just that. He was kind of in his own class out front tonight. But Dino, man, huge P3, like you said, gets the momentum back rolling your way, and well, just in the nick of time here, is starting to run out of races here left in the season. Think you got another win or 2 left in the tank?
No, I hope so. I mean, I need a little bit of luck to do it because there's so many good cars, and I think some of the reason why there's getting some instances now, I think everyone is just equal speed, which is good. That's what competition's about. And I tell you, I thought I had a good starting spot in that 358. So, when you have a bad time trial run, you got to take advantage starting up front, but I couldn't do that very well. So, we just got to keep digging, and hopefully we'll get a couple more. I mean, I think every now and then the things will fall right, and I'll get a win here at night, and it's always been cherished, and hopefully we get some more.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're on the right track. I mean, 4 FTM guys in the top 5. You got to be happy with that, Dino. Way to finish the night here, man. Who you want to thank?
Well, it's good to see the epilepsy cars there. I didn't run the epilepsy wrap tonight, but the other guys are still running it for the rest of the month, so it was good. Got to thank the Full Throttle Motorsports guys. I mean, we're hanging in Discord and joking around and everything else, and having fun as much as we can. And got to thank them, and I got to thank Shaggy, you for picking up the telecast. I know Thursday's usually Marty's night, but Marty's been really busy with other sports. So Shaggy TV, I tell you, you've been a godsend, man. I hope everyone's giving you a lot of credit for doing what you're doing for Monday nights and Tuesdays and now Thursdays. And we're glad you're here so we can have friends and family at homes watch. And speaking about that, I know Megan's at work, but hopefully she'll watch the replay later. And my dad's watching right now. And I got to thank Michael Vecchio. I haven't done that yet this year, I don't think. And his business is sponsoring the 358s, and he brought a friend over to sponsor the big blocks. And if it wasn't for we call him Justified. That's his nickname. If it wasn't for Justified, Shaggy wouldn't be here bringing all this to everyone's home. So we got to thank them. And on to the next race, and we'll see everybody probably Sunday night for Pro Late Models.
Well, Dino, great run, man. Way to cap off the night, and like you say, man, hopefully you keep this momentum rolling, and hopefully I'm talking to you next week, or maybe I'll be in the booth with you Monday night. We'll see what happens.
Awesome, Shaggy. Thanks again, and again, congrats to Dylan and Trevor.
Great run, Dino. That's your 3rd place finisher, Dean Reynolds, and now we're going to bring up the man who was able to get up to P2, but Dylan, it seemed like, it took you so long to get around your teammate in the 444 that by the time you could, just with the cautions at the end, never really had a chance to try to make a run at Trevor.
Yeah, I was being patient with Scott. And then once I got by him, that's what I was talking to Trevor about, waiting to get in here. I wish I had like 5 more laps. I was starting to reel him in a little bit, like the last 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go, and whatnot. But man, it was a rough night. Man, just me personally, like the 358 race, I just keep getting ran down to the apron and, getting my nose chopped when I'm on the inside of somebody. It's kind of getting old. Sick of playing those games. It happened once in Big Block, and I just got to look forward. I don't know. Some people will be a lot faster if they just look forward.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that statement for sure. And I mean, a lot of it has to do, I can understand the frustration. I mean, a lot of fast guys, you're all in the same setup. So minuscule differences, you're trying to find ways to work around guys. And sometimes if you got guys doing a lot more taking and not as much giving, it can lead to trouble. But Dylan, you're able to rebound after that 358 race, man, and bring it up with a good P2 and 4 FTM cars in the top 5, man. You got to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, it's always good when the team shows out and we have a good night. As you know, I'm always way better in the Big Block. I love when I get some power onto me, and you got to use your foot. It's not like the 358s here where it's like, slot cars. You just basically hold it and got to hit your line and you get out of the line. That's it. But in Big Blocks you can move around and it's all about throttle control. It's just I was happy to get back in the Big Block. Those 358 sometimes are just like, it's like driving a sportsman around here. There's just no power.
Nah, I feel you. And that kind of in the Big Block, man, you have a chance to separate yourself a little bit, and you do a great job of doing that every week. You did it here once again, man. Played the patient game, got yourself up to P2. Congratulations, Dylan. Who you want to thank, brother?
Yeah, thanks. I got to thank all the guys at FTM. We're always, under caution, we're always joking around, having a good time. And then, once we get the 1 to green, it's all serious face and we get back going again. I got to thank Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, DJ for the wrap, Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, you, Shaggy, for the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast makes it happen. And good win for Trevor tonight.
Yeah, well, great run for you and the rest of FTM as well, man. 4 in the top 5. Congratulations, Dylan, and hope I talk to you a little more next week, brother.
Thanks, Shaggy.
And now we're going to bring up the man able to hold off the charge, Trevor. I picked Isaac for the 358s, and I picked you for the Big Box, man. 2
no,
for 2.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Thank you for making me look good, man. And, I realistically, it was about the midpoint race. Isaac started to come at you a little bit, started to trim into that fat. And then I don't know if you just put your head down, refocused, but, man, you started to walk away, and nobody had anything for that 075 tonight.
Yeah, it was honestly, Isaac was running bottom 1 and 2 like way better than me. So I was kind of just really focused on with the more power in these big blocks. I was sliding up in 1 and 2 too much instead of keeping it low. So I was really just kind of backing up my entry of 1 and 2 and keeping it low. And I think that's what really did it for me. And then the track eventually went top, and that's when it was, I don't know, 10 to go or something like that. And the caution came out and kind of tried to throw the guys off with that restart because I was going at the same time every restart. So I kind of waited a little longer, then got on it. I knew them guys were going to be fast. They were real quick in the 358. So I was like, I got to get myself a little bit of breathing room here and hopefully I can hang on. 10 more laps and maybe they're running me down, but great race. I actually wasn't even going to run big blocks, but I'm glad I did now.
Well, hey, man, answer this as well as you can here with getting yourself into, or as best as you can without getting yourself into trouble. When that caution comes out here, 10 to go, you look up in that rearview mirror, you got 4 FTM cars behind you. Man, we've had a big rivalry between these two teams here the past couple of weeks. Does that come into your head at all, or do you just got to block it all out and focus and just try to stay up front?
Honestly, like no, like when I look up in the mirror, I see my relative, whatever, and I see 3-4 FTM guys, and the only thing that comes in my head is like, okay, I gotta get on my high horse here because these guys are obviously quick, and I have a good relationship with a lot of them. So, I mean, all of them. So, I mean, it's they're fat, they're really really fast. So when I see them guys back there, especially Scotty and Dylan and eventually Dino joined the picture, I was like, man, I'm gonna have my hands full here. That's why I tried to give myself a little breathing room on that restart there, and I guess it paid off.
Well, Trevor, congratulations, my man. Big win here. You bring home
Thank
the
you.
1-2 for Venom. I mean, that's awesome. It's tough to do here at Bristol, too. I mean, real fast track, one mistake, and you find yourself
Yep.
in the wall fast. So, perfect night here for the 075 in the big blocks. Congratulations, brother. Who you want to thank?
Man, first and foremost, I gotta thank you because was it last week that I told you to keep picking me because I kept winning every time you picked me?
Dude,
think it
I
was.
forget stuff like that. I'm telling you, I watch you guys race enough that I'm getting pretty good at this. I mean, you really do all have your tracks, and it's kind of a
Yep.
case of, I knew you'd get out front. Isaac already got his piece tonight, and, wasn't going to race you too hard. And, dude, you did exactly, I mean, even if he did race you hard, you were so quick tonight, nobody had anything for you. So I wasn't the luck charm, man. You earned this one.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, just gotta thank you first and foremost for the broadcast, especially doing it by yourself and Marty's not around. I don't know if you had anybody up in the booth with you tonight, but either way, we appreciate you doing this stuff. It's fun going back and watching, and you do a great job. So we appreciate you, Shaggy, and gotta thank all the guys at Venom, especially Isaac and Brian tonight. Isaac with some great runs, and Brian showed some really good speed. So. It was a nice Venom sweep tonight, and thank Dino with the Super Dirt Car Series, Big Tim Race Wraps, RSN Trackside. I'm forgetting some guys, but yeah, just everyone who makes this stuff possible, coast to coast, everyone behind the scenes. I know everyone's busting their butts to keep this stuff going, and it's it's fun. It's a good league to be a part of. 10, 12 weeks of racing and everything goes pretty much smoothly. I mean, on my end anyway. So thanks to all them guys, and yeah, again, thank you, Shaggy.
Well, hey, I appreciate the kind words, Trevor. Great job tonight, man, and I look forward to a lot more of these this season, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Shaggy. And I want to give a shout out to the FTM boys. They're second and third. Good run to them guys too.
Fourth and fifth. Don't short them here.
Oh, really?
You were the only thing that broke them up there. They got second, third, fourth, and fifth. So
my
if not for
apologies,
you,
boys.
it was an FTM show here tonight.
Wow, my apologies, boys. Yeah, good run to them guys. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. Like I said, I have a good relationship with all of them. So props to them.
Well, that's why we love you here, man. You're a class act. Congratulations. And like I say, man, looking forward to a lot more of these, brother.
Me too, man. Thank you, Shaggy. Appreciate you.
And that's your winner there in that 075 as you watch him putt around the bottom of the screen trying to find victory lane. He knows where it is. It's parked on the front stretch. And Trevor Giroux brings it home for the main event here on Thursday Night Thunder in the big blocks. Gets a little pipe there from his teammate in the 5. Little congratulations. And well, with that, we're going to see something here. We're going to jump up into the booth, come into Shaggy's home, and we're going to give you your closing thoughts. Like I say, these guys, I talked to, that was Dylan a little bit about it. You talk about guys chopping, doing this, doing that. And he is right to an extent. But, these guys are running fixed setups. They are all, towards the top of the dirt. They run very consistent laps. And, it comes down to sometimes when you do only have that little fender there. I grew up dirt racing. You don't have mirrors. You can't see that guy to your inside. And you try to listen. You got so many things going on. You got a spotter, which is lucky. You don't have those in real dirt racing. But it can lead to some problems sometimes, Some guys do turn on that mirror. And like Dylan said, maybe look up top a little too much instead of out front. But it's a learning curve. Guys trying to learn, and they're all trying to do it together. But at the end of the day, another good show here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we'd just like to thank all of our sponsors here this evening. AMR or Atlantic Management Resources here. Oh man, as you see Shaggy there, almost choke on my spit there. Amity Construction Corporation. I mean, couldn't do this stuff without you guys. Couldn't put on these amazing shows, and we 100% appreciate you at the Coast to Coast Racing League. But on behalf of everyone here, Roger Craig, all the admins, I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, signing off. Have a good evening.